Good morning.
Great to have you with us. First of all, your thoughts then on that performance of West Ham yesterday. David Moyes there saying, look, you've got to be happy with a draw, ultimately playing away from home in the first leg. But they weren't quite up to it, were they, West Ham, in terms of the display that we saw?
No, they didn't play well, but got out there with a draw, so it gives them a great chance now, Natalie, for the second leg at home. And I would expect West Ham to be too strong at home for them. You'll probably see a different West Ham next week. So, yeah, overall, it was probably a satisfying night. But as you say, the performance was pretty average, really.
And obviously, Manchester United, Harry, on the other foot, really. I mean, it's a situation. I said that the wrong way.
Carry on, you're fine.
But Manchester United, 2-0 up, cruising. Could have been 3, could have been 4, and the tie's done. Yeah. Suddenly, 2 late goals for Sevilla. Now they've got to go to Spain, and that won't be an easy game away from home for Man United.
No, it throws the tie wide open now, doesn't it, Ray? And they've got injuries, as you say, but they're probably okay. They've got Lindelof, probably if he's fit, Harry Maguire to come in at the back, because both the centre halves got injuries. Obviously, Rashford is the big loss for them at the moment. He's absolutely been on fire. I think Fernandes is suspended for the next game as well. So it'll be tough. It'll be a tough game there. You probably played there, Ray, I'm sure, in chat. I don't know, over the years in Europe, all the games you played. But it's an hard game away from home, Seville. It's not an easy match.
Manchester United, they're fighting on a number of different fronts still, with top 4, with the FA Cup and of course the Europa League as well. But with West Ham, it's relegation in the Premier League that they're still trying to stave off. They're only 3 points clear of the bottom 3. And earlier on, we had the Moose on, as I'm sure you're aware, big West Ham fan, and he was telling us and that's a big if they win the Europa Conference League, he would take relegation. He wouldn't mind West Ham being relegated. This is the response.
Is he all right, the Moose, today, or what?
I wondered what you thought of that, and I can tell what you thought of it. But to be fair, a lot of fans, and whether they're fans not just of West Ham, but fans of Luton, for example.
They're going by the FA Cup, Harry.
Yeah, Wigan fans mentioning their win of the FA Cup, that they would never swap that for anything, and that they, the fact that they won those cups and may have been relegated as well, do you know what I mean? They wouldn't swap it.
No, I think there was a big difference between winning the FA Cup or winning I mean, that competition is not quite up there with the big competitions, in my opinion, but you certainly want to be in the West Ham need to be in the Premier League. West Ham's a Premier League club, fantastic stadium, great support. Yeah, West Ham gets underestimated. People don't realise it is a big, big club. And they need to be in the Premier. And if they win that cup and next year they're playing in the Championship, I don't think that would be a good answer. I really can't see where he's coming from, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, this week, Harry, some massive games again. I look at both ends of the table, and it's all different scenarios. Top 4, who's going to get that top 4? Newcastle flying at the moment. We've got a tricky game, and Villa in great form at the moment.
Very tricky game.
And then you look at Spurs, obviously, going for that top 4 as well. They play Bournemouth, who have showed a real bit of spirit, haven't they? A bit of character. They're trying to they're picking points up away from home now, which is great. And it won't be an easy game for Spurs.
No, Gary O'Neill's done a great job at Bournemouth. Kept them in there. We've still got a chance of staying up. It looked at, early in the season as though we were definitely going to go down this year. But now we're banging it. A great result last week at Leicester. They're in good form, and they don't give anybody an easy game. They've made a few good signings in the window. And I think Bournemouth's got a great chance. They're 5 points clear of Leicester. Leicester are in big trouble.
Yeah.
Southampton, Bournemouth have got the points on the ball. I mean, it's big at this stage of the year, so I think they're going to be okay. I mean, tough game at Tottenham tomorrow, obviously, but then they come back. West Ham at home next week. That is a big game as well. So the Hammers are coming to Bournemouth next weekend. So there's some big games coming up, but I think I've got a feeling that Bournemouth will be okay.
Well, that's on talkSPORT 2 tomorrow, that game, Tottenham against Bournemouth, for that 3:00 kickoff. With regards to Spurs, though, we obviously know it's Christian Stellini who's the interim manager. There's been rumours and links to a number of different managers. One of them is Vincent Kompany, who Burnley fans won't thank me for bringing him up. Could you see him make the switch to North London?
He's done a great job, hasn't he? I mean, he's been fantastic this year, what Vincent's achieved there at Burnley. I couldn't see it really. I honestly, when they went down, I thought I could see them struggling to get straight back up again, but they've run away with the league. So great credit. He comes over great. He was a fantastic player. He comes over, he's a classy guy. He'd be a great signing for anybody. And the decision for him, Burnley's a wonderful football club, great, but it's not, they never have the money to really, if they come up next year, can he pull off a miracle and keep them in the league? Never easy. So he's got a big decision to make. If one of the bigger clubs come in for him, does he go or does he give it a year and see what he can do at Burnley?
How hard a decision do you think that is then, Harry, like you say?
It is difficult because your stock goes down very quickly. We saw this year, so Scott Parker got promoted with Bournemouth. Within 6, 7, 8 games, he was gone. You have a few bad results. Steve Cooper did a miracle last year getting Notts Forest up. Then suddenly this year they're down where you expect them to be, down in the lower reaches of the league. And then suddenly his job's under threat. Every week you hear people now saying, well, if he doesn't win tomorrow, he's going to lose his job. That is the problem. You get a club up there and then suddenly it doesn't go well, you're struggling. And within no time, it's all forgotten how well you've done to get promoted and you're out of work again. So Vincent's would have a big decision to make. There'll be plenty of clubs looking at him for sure.
Harry, I've got to ask you about Frank as well, Lampard. I mean, it was always going to be a tricky game, Real Madrid, in the week. Big game tomorrow. I mean, Brighton were a little bit unlucky last week, wasn't they, at Spurs? They should have at least got something out of that game. And they're in great form at Brighton. So Chelsea, they need to get that first win under Frank, don't they?
Yeah, no, it's a big game tomorrow. I'm hoping that he doesn't think, well, we've got Real Madrid on Tuesday, we've got it on Wednesday, I think it's Tuesday night. Forget Real Madrid. They need to get a win tomorrow. Confidence-wise, for himself and the team, they need a win. It'll give them a bit of confidence going into that game Tuesday. I think if he starts messing around with the team tomorrow and putting all his eggs in one basket, they get beat tomorrow, then they get beat. Suddenly, it's been a bit of a very difficult start for him. So I'd look to get, if possible, if I was there, I'd look to go for it tomorrow and see if we can pick up 3 points against a very, very good Brighton team.
Harry, changing sport, one of the biggest races in the world, isn't it? The Grand National tomorrow, and you've got a runner, number 39.
Back on the lash.
I'm sure Alan will be back in this one. I'm sure of that.
You and Alan will definitely back on the lash race.
Definitely, but it wasn't a great run at Cheltenham, was it? But before that, he was in great form, wasn't he?
Yeah, he won at Cheltenham at the sort of the January meeting, and then it's very ground dependent, Ray. He needs good ground. If it comes up here, it rains all night, and tomorrow at Aintree, it'd be you wouldn't even waste your couple of quid on him. He really is dependent on good ground. So I'm doing a bit of a weather. I'm looking at the weather all day to see it, hoping there's no rain at Aintree. But then I've got 3 runners in the race before.
Yes.
Who need soft ground. So you can't. I've got Bell to Greatness. Shake 'em Up Harry's running tomorrow. I like very much as well. And Cole Philippe who runs. So they want softer ground. Back on the lash needs firm ground. I'm hoping it doesn't rain, to be honest, because the National is a special race, and to have a runner in that is
brilliant.
I want to see him run and come back safe. That's the main thing for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, best of luck for that one tomorrow. Then,
thank you,
Harry.
Cheers,
Thank
Harry.
you
Thanks, Natalie,
for being with us today as well.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.